This is what most music producers overlook. It's your guy Brahma, and in this video today, I'm going to show you the #1 thing you as a music producer and beat maker could be overlooking that's hurting your mixes, killing your creative vibe, and making your beats sound like trash. If you don't address this problem, you're going to continue on running into the same issues: beat block, ear fatigue, people not wanting to listen to your beats, the whole nine. So in this video, I'm going to break down how to solve it. First, we're going to get into the problem, and then right after that, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to solve it and stop this from happening. So make sure you watch the video all the way through, because it's going to be full of gems that you want to pick up and take with you. Okay, let's get into it. So this is exactly how it happens, man. You go online, you go search for the new latest drum kit, or your homie sends you the latest DJ Mustard Metro Boomin drum kit, and he says, yo bro, make a beat with these, it's gonna make your shit bang, these DJ Mustard Metro Boomin drums. And so you do it, right? And you happy, you like, yo, I made a banger, bro. And you send it off to the artist, the A&R, or you send it to a television film publishing company. You think you about to get a placement, you kick your feet up, you ready, you like, man, I can't wait to hear back, I know they feel this one. Right? Crickets. You don't hear nothing back. You don't hear shit back. And you wonder why. I'm going to tell you why. It's because you didn't clean up those dirty ass frequencies in your drum sounds, man. Your drum sounds are half of the beat. They're half of the mix. Whenever an engineer is engineering a song or even just a beat, it don't matter. The first thing he's going to go for is the drums. Why? Because they're the foundation. So if you're not using pre-mixed drums, you're going to have to do a whole lot of tweaking. And you might even need to take a whole day out to do that, because by the time you get done tweaking the sounds the way you need them to be tweaked in order for your beats to stand out and be clean, you know, you're going to have ear fatigue because you spent so long messing with these dirty frequencies, finding them and turning them down. And if you try to make a beat with the dirty frequencies and you wonder why you ran into beat block, that's the reason why. Your ears are fatigued. They're exhausted, man, because you spent an hour making a beat with dirty ass drums, and now you can't get to the next beat because the drums from that previous beat are trash, and you're trying to make beats with them again, and your ears is just done. They're shot. They're like, yo, bro, no more, no more. Man, that's because you need to clean up those dirty ass frequencies in your drums. Once you do that, it's going to make your life easier because you don't have to worry about tweaking. If you look, I have a saying, man, I've been saying this for over 15 years now. If it needs to be tweaked, that means it's weak. It's different if you're tweaking your drums and your sounds just for the simple fact that you're trying to sculpt and craft and create something different or something new. But if you need to tweak it in order for it to bang or cut through the mix, that means it's weak from the jump. And some producers get confused. They think that loudness means power and the drums are strong. No, man. Sometimes if you turn it loud and they got them dirty ass frequencies in there, it's gonna be worst. No one's gonna want to listen to the beat because them drums is dirty, bro. You gotta clean them up. So that should be the first order of business when you start making a beat. Sit down, take a day out to just clean, sculpt your drums. I'm going to share with you in this video the frequencies you need to focus on cutting before you boost. Don't boost no more, man. Don't boost nothing. Cut before you boost. I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you the frequencies, and in the future video, I'm going to actually show you because this is important. But you want to do that because if you don't do that first and you try to make a beat with the dirty ass drums, like I said, you're going to run into the beat block. It's going to kill your vibe. You're not going to be feeling it for some reason. It's because subconsciously your ears know like, yo, bro, these frequencies are dirty. I can't take no more. We need to take a break, right? And it took me years to really understand that. I learned the science a long time ago, but I didn't think it was important. I was like, yeah, it's okay. I'm just going to keep using these sounds. And then little did I know, man, I kept running into beat block. My creativity, my vibe was done. It was dead. And I was like, man, why? And then I started using clean drums, pre-mixed, pre-compressed, pre-EQ'd, ran through analog gear, SSL channel strips with converters. and it changed my whole concept of what the hell I was doing. Once you start using treated drums, you're gonna wonder what you've been doing this whole time. I told you, I just went through that, man. I'm like, yo, you mean to tell me that's why I had beat block? You mean to tell me that that's why my mixes sounded trash, and no matter what I did, no matter how much EQ I boosted, no matter how much compression I added, it didn't matter? The beat was still ass? Man, it's because of your drums. Your drums are the heartbeat. Drums are the heartbeat of hip hop anyway, but they're the heartbeat of your production, man. Like I said, that's why engineers, whenever they mix a song, they go for the drums first, because that's the foundation. That's the fundamental element of the song is your drums. Here are a couple of the frequencies that you could start focusing in on to get your kicks, snares, hi-hats, and percussions to sound clean. And you want to do this before you start making the beat, because you don't want to kill your vibe in the middle of your creative process, have to switch your brain into technical mode. Right? You could do this later on once you start viewing the mixing aspect as the creative process and you embed it in your creative flow. But in the beginning, tweak your drums first, or use drums that are already pre-treated. First thing you want to do is pull up an EQ with an EQ analyzer on it, a frequency analyzer. The reason why you want to do this is because you want to be able to see where all the frequencies are, the ones that are hitting high, the ones that are too low. And you want to be able to see this, because it's more than just your ears. You could use your eyes too. Back in the day, engineers on analog boards had to use only their ears. We're blessed as music producers and engineers to be able to use our eyes as well. So take advantage of that. Pull up the EQ analyzer so you can see what frequencies are hitting and where they're hitting at. Okay, so for your kicks, there's a problem frequency between 2 to 500 hertz, right? 200 to 500 hertz. That's the mud zone, especially in kicks, toms, things of that nature, even in snares, right? And then in some cases, you can actually boost certain elements like the 200, 220 hertz to get your snare to have a little more body, but you don't want to do too much right there. You only want to do it if you need it, right? And speaking of snares, there's a harshness in the 2K to 4K range. You want to adjust that. That's the high mid range, right? You want to start adjusting that, because if not, then it's going to be very harsh. It's going to hurt your ears. And some of the free kits that I downloaded, I noticed that they were boosted in that area a lot. And that's a problem, especially when you're producing a track for a song, because vocals are going to need room to sit in that frequency range. So you want to make sure that you only have enough of that in your high end sounds, like the hi-hats and the snares. You don't want to do it too much to the point where it starts sounding harsh. Another area is the sub bass, right? Sub bass frequency, especially if it's not a kick. Cut all of that out, man. Just cut it out. In your hi-hats, in your snares, you probably want to just go up to about 75, because some of that body of that snare is going to live in the frequencies after that. So you don't want to cut too much. You can actually go through on your frequency, your EQ and your analyzer, and see how much body the snare has, and just cut just right until you get to that part where the snare is starting to snap. Okay, don't overdo it. If you drag it too far to the right and cut out that body, then your snare is going to be done, right? It's going to be weak. It's not going to cut through the mix. When you're doing this, solo each sound too, and then play them together. But while you're tweaking the frequency, solo the sounds out so that you could zone in on those problem frequencies. This is going to take some work. It's going to take some ear training. You're going to have to do this a few times to be able to understand what you're really doing, but it's worth it at the end of the day. This is exactly why I created the Drum Tank plugin. This Drum Tank plugin right here has all the most banging drum sounds you'll ever put your ears on, and they've all been treated. They've been ran through SSL channel strips. They've been EQ'd, compressed already. The problem frequencies have been cut out. So when you're making beats with these drums, you don't have to worry about mixing. Your beat is already pre-mixed, for the simple fact that you could use these treated drums already. And as a matter of fact, you can gain stage in this plugin. These are gain knobs, so they affect the input of the sound. Most of the time you're messing with volume knobs that only affect the output, right? But if you want to get real good headroom, you want to be able to affect the input of the sound, just like you would do on an analog mixing board, right? The gain is the first in the chain because you need to be able to control your inputs so that you're not bringing in harsh volume and bad frequencies and distortion, especially in the digital space. So this plugin right here is called Drum Tank because of that. It's already built, it's bulletproof. The sounds have already been battle tested and they're proven to work. I'm going to show you beats in the future video that I've used too. And these are some of the sounds I'm going to show you in another video too that I had to treat, right? I brought through the frequency analyzer and I'm going to show you in another video. I don't want to eat up too much time. I just wanted to show you this Drum Tank plugin though. I'm going to be giving to producers for $1. 50 to 100 producers I'm gonna let get this plugin for $1. It comes with 100 banging drum sounds. You're actually gonna get 150 banging drum sounds in this plugin if you are part of the Ape Army, because the Ape Army, every month you're gonna get a new drum expansion for this plugin unlocked just for being down with the crew, okay, down with the squad. But I'm gonna get more into that. If you're interested, leave a comment below so I could start tallying up and rallying up the troops, because this is going to be opening up very soon. And you definitely want to get your hands on this plugin if you want to kill beat block and get into a creative zone that you've never been in before. These drums are battle tested. Okay, so anyway, leave your comments, like and subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. And this is also going to help push the video out to the algorithm to show more producers who could use these gems, this inspiration and motivation to make bangers with. Okay, and if you're feeling this video, make sure you check out this one where I craft the banger from scratch. And I actually use this Drum Tank plugin so you could hear how clean the frequencies are. And you'll notice that I didn't have to do any tweaking when it comes to the drums. They're already done. Okay, check it out.